Good evening, all. So let's check our sound and connection. Please type a plus sign in the chat if you hear me and see my screen. Great, I see pluses. So I think we can start. And good evening again. And welcome to our Q&A session of the team leader course in Ketus. And today we're talking about our new course that will start in a few days. I will I will tell you about the contents of this course. We will talk about the lections, themes that we will discuss there during this course. And of course, in the end, I will answer your questions. My name is Pryakhin, and I'm a leader and a teacher on this team leader course at Ketus. Also, I'm working as a tech unit lead at biggest world's classified avita.io. So, and if you will have any questions that that will appear after this webinar, feel free to write me an email. You can see my email address on the screen. It's av.pryakhin@gmail.com. Feel free to ask any question regarding our course. So we'll get to know each other. Then let's talk about Ketus education a bit. And of course, about our new course, as I promised a few seconds before. Few rules about this webinar, not only this one, but about all the webinars that you can meet in Ketus. So I am not a speaking head on the front side of the screen. And of course, please participate in the webinar. Ask questions in the chat. I will answer them. I see them every time when they appear in a chat, but sometimes I can postpone it for a few minutes to discuss. But nevertheless, I will try to answer all the questions that you will ask in chat. And yeah, don't sit silently without any words, and don't hesitate to ask questions. So let's start, and a few words about Ketus, who we are, and please mark the number 1 in the chat if you already know something about Ketus education, or 0 if you didn't hear anything and the name Ketus doesn't ring a bell. So please. Okay, I see. Maybe someone will watch this webinar in the record format on the YouTube platform. You can find all of our webinars on our YouTube channel here. So I will tell a few words. So who we are? We are an educational platform that is focused on IT, strictly focused on IT. And our advantage lies in our programs for experienced specialists. So we are not focused on engineers who are only starting their career path. So we are working with students who have some experience with different programming languages, with different management programs, and so on and so forth. And of course, to teach this level of students, we need to have a lot of experienced teachers, because they need to provide not only the hello world level of knowledge, but of course, a lot of real experience in big tech platforms or other companies. And of course, they need to be in trend of new technologies and their path of evolution. And our partners are modern and tech-savvy companies. So our training courses really open for upgrades and updates. And every course, we're trying to increase the level of our course, include some brand new technologies, of course, get rid of the oldest one, because we don't want to show you some outdated picture, of course. And yeah, so our mission is that we deliver training that brings real value to our stakeholders. And those stakeholders on one side, there are our students, and they want to have a real upgrade in their career path. And in the other side, it's companies, our partners, who are looking for new professionals, for new engineers, for new managers, with really good level of knowledge and prepared to solve real tasks in the real world. And of course, we are committed to bring the needs and expectations to our stakeholders. Thus, they will trust us. It's the only way from our point of view. So, of course, we have a wide range of our courses. You can find programming, architecture, analytics courses from tech side, and from management side. You can find our team leader course, for example. So, I saw some people in the chat who already knows about Ketus, and please type in number one if you already have completed training courses with us. Number two, if you have not studied with us but have heard about us, and if you are new to Ketus. So I hope those visitors who wrote one will wrote one or two maybe. So that's interesting. Okay. So that's good. And let's move further. Maybe if you have any questions, as I said before, don't hesitate to type them in the chat. Okay, so no questions so far. And let's move further to the course program and our team. So, few words about learning process in Ketus. So, we are focused on a webinar format. It's not pre-recorded webinar format, but it's online webinars. So you can visit them, ask questions, work tightly with the teacher, and ask questions, and so on and so forth. But of course, we're all working on a real company for real companies, and sometimes we may have no time to visit our webinar. Of course, those webinars will be recorded and available for our students for the lifetime. And it's strictly recommended to visit those webinars, but nevertheless, you can watch them in a record. And also, if you will watch them in a record way, so you can ask questions in our direct chats with all the teachers that you will meet on our course. And of course, lections are not really the core of our program, let's say. So it's only the small part. The biggest part is practice, which we are focused on. Our practice is really different from lesson to lesson. Some lessons we do real online practice, so we are solving business cases with our teachers. And of course, you will have your homework, and you should do this, because without your homework, well, let's say so, it's quite useless to work with the course, just to watch some videos and say that, okay, now I know how to lead my team. No, that's not really that. It's like a sport lesson. So you can watch 1 billion of videos of swimming, running, and so on and so forth. But those videos won't let you run not a marathon distance, but even a few kilometers. So the same story with our teaching course. Of course, you need to do your homework and do the practice, and do this with a high level of quality. And this level of quality will be checked by our teachers who are working, of course, with your homework, give you feedback, and answer your questions. So With this knowledge, I can say that the training time will take you about 4 hours per week for lections. So basically, we have 2 lections per week, and one lection is 1 hour and a half to 2 hours, depends. And of course, you need to reserve some time to work on practice, on your homework. And it depends on your level and your preparation for this course. So, for example, you can be a quite new employee, and the team leader role is the first team leader role for you. And of course, you can be experienced team leader, and you want to align your knowledge in your head. So in this case, you will have to spend different amount of time. So, and I would say that normal time to our course starts with 8 hours per week. Recommended is 10 to 15, depends, of course, but 8 hours is the real strict minimum. So be careful when you are preparing to work with our course, because it's going for 5 months, and for 5 months you need to find out about 8 hours per week for our course to work productively with this one and to have an effective outcome. And of course, our training program is currently updating and continuously updating. And if you will have any question, so that it is not lying inside the program, which we will discuss in a few seconds, of course, we will discuss it in a chat or on lections, depends on the size of this question. But nevertheless, every question will be answered. That's our strict rule. So about the course, the approximate date of starting is 16th of June, depends. That can be moved, but let's take a look on the program. What do we have in our program, and what you will find out if you will come to learn in Ketus, in Ketus. So we have several modules, and we are starting with an overview. And there are 2 lections there, and we are talking about the team leader role and the team leader position, which can be new for you. And maybe this position is not real new for you, but nevertheless, within this block, we will align our knowledge and our understanding of the position of team leader. There are only 2 lections, but then we will go to personal skills. So that's the most important resource for you. That's your resource. That's your time and your energy. So we are starting with the definition of perfect manager. And of course, we will take into account here the theory of Isaac Adizes, and also the theory of Belbin. So we will discuss roles and models in our team, and of course the expectation of your role of the team leader. Then we will spend 2 lections regarding presentations and speeches. So we will align the knowledge how to draw presentations, how to speak on public, how to show your presentation to public. That's important, and here we will have a lot of practice. Then we will go to time management. So time, I would say that's the most valuable and the most important resource for manager. It's time. You need to manage this. And of course, then we will talk about the delegation rules. Then we will go to the biggest model of our course. It's team management. And we are starting from team building, not in perspective of parties and went outs, but from the perspective of team modeling. So who you really need in your team, who you need to hire, and do you really need to have another backend developer or something like this. Then we will go to team roles from the perspective of behavior, and we will see what makes your team the real team,
Then we'll go to motivation. So what motivates your employees work on your company, with your team, and so on. Of course, we will spend a lot of time on hiring. So the hiring process is a real tight one, I would say, because it's not only the question of creating the vacation on LinkedIn, let's say. You need to draw the portrait of your candidate. You need to know who you want to hire. You need to know how you will hire this employee, this engineer. So a lot of preparation work should be done, and so on. So we'll work on it, and we will be prepared to hiring process. Then logically, we'll go to onboarding process. So we will talk about the very first days of the engineer in your company. Then we will talk about collaborations and feedback. So it's all about soft skills and uh, entertain communication. And we will have the practical lesson about feedback. Then we will go to micro and macro management, the difference between them, and when you need to go to micromanagement. Well, the very rare situation, but you need to know about them. And of course, about micromanagement from perspective of helicopter view for manager. Then we will talk about one-to-one meetings. That's quite important part for manager, because you need to know how your employees working are living and what's inside their heads. So that's really important, because this knowledge can prepare you for some problems, or in the best case for mitigation these risks and problems. Of course, there will be some practical lessons there, and we will talk about growth. The quite actual theme for nowadays is remote work, how to organize this, how to build processes during remote work, and so on. Then we will talk about the outsource and out stuff. We will calculate some numbers there and do some mathematics just to find out if it's okay or not okay, or okay-ish to work not with your in-house team, but hire outsourced. And we will have the coaching. So this is the lection where you can bring any of your questions, working situations, your working case, and we will talk about on this lecture. So an online format, the lecturer on this lection will answer your questions. Then, not the really funny part, but it's important part. It's conflict and criticism. Of course, not everything goes smooth, and you need to be prepared. So you need to find out problems and criticisms, and you need to find opportunities in criticism. I would say that even latest COVID-19 pandemic situation was a real opportunity, let's say so, for some online companies to grow up. Then we will talk about firing. So we already talked about hiring. Then we need to know how to fire your employees if they are not performing good enough, or they are toxic, or something like this. Then we will talk about deviation in the behavior of your employees. And then we'll go to problems and solutions there. And there will be one practical lesson that is dedicated to conflicts. So we will work on conflict situation, and we will try to play some roles to find out the decision for the conflict situation. And we will go to processes. So how to create your mini factory in your team. Thus, you can go to vacation, go to sick leave or something like this, because without processes, you'll always be involved in all the questions. So you need to know how to build task creation process, decision making. So how can you work with metrics and planning? And we will have 3 lections, including the practical one, that are dedicated to agile methodologies, agile manifesto, and of course frameworks like Scrum, how to cook them, and how to fail with them, let's say so. So we will see how to work with those methodologies, and of course we will talk about technical debt. And the last but not least, we'll talk about hard skills here. So we will talk about the documentation process, how to run with the documentation, how to support it and create it and actualize it. Okay, we will talk about the basic processes, and we'll have another coaching lecture where you can bring out your questions, and we will discuss them in online format. And in the end of the course, we will have the final project. So you can create some new process, new metric approach, new, I don't know why. We can discuss it during the course. You can ask questions, but you can implement all the knowledge that you collect and capture during the course, and try to use it on a real practical case in your company. In the other hand, you will bring some value within this project. So this project is running about 1.5 months, depends. So, and all the themes will be discussed, and there will be a deep dive into the project. And of course, I will describe the exact approaches to the project during this part of the course. So that's pretty much it about the course. And maybe you have some questions here. I just remind you that if you are watching this on YouTube, not in live air, you can ask any questions on my email. It's av.pryakhin@gmail.com. Don't hesitate to ask anything about course, and I will help you with your questions. So, and since I can see any questions right now, so may I kindly ask you to fulfill the survey about our today's webinar. It will take you about 3 to 5 minutes, and really thank you in advance for fulfilling this survey, because it helps us to be better and to work better on our webinars. So far, I can see no questions. Looks like everything is good for now, and thus, thank you for spending those half an hour of Tuesday evening on our webinar at Ketus, and have a nice rest of the week. And I hope we'll see each other on our activities and courses. And thank you again. Have a nice evening.